Hey guys, welcome to this video and my channel. My name is Heather. I'm the owner and creator here at Wicked Whiskey Designs, and today we are playing with this. I love how this came out so much. This looks like it may be very complicated to do with all of its layers and its swirls, but I promise this is so easy and so much fun to make. So I'm going to take you through every step to make this cup. You know, it might be something you're inspired by and you want to go ahead and give it a go yourself. Down below, there are links to all of the products I'm using in this cup. There's probably also going to be a couple of coupon codes down there for you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, my little channel here took a little break, but we're back and I have so many crazy ideas coming down the way. Trust me, just so many videos. But anyway, like and subscribe. That way you're notified, you know, whenever those new videos drop. Also, don't forget to hang out for the tips and tricks section at the end of the video. It's a little more impersonal. It usually consists of some rambling on my end, but also all the little things that I learned to make this cup an easy thing for you to have fun with. So don't forget to hang out for that. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let's go have some fun. Hey guys, okay, so we are in the little area that my husband works in, and you'll see it has absolutely nothing to do with glitter, but it's probably the cleanest part of this garage, and it's by the front door of the garage, and it's overcast, and none of my colors are showing properly inside the garage or in the house. So this is where we're at. You know how we roll on this channel. I pick 1,000 colors, and then we kind of see where it goes. But I wanted to show you some of the colors we're working with on this little anti-Valentine's Day tumbler we're working on. Princess Pink, love them. Glitter Gifts and More, beautiful, beautiful glitter. First Love by Peachy. What do we got? Rose Gold Guac, also by Peachy. Do we all see? I have like none. We'll see if we can fix that. We've got, what am I doing? Blush. I can't read through the camera or my handwriting. Blushing something. Blushing Bright, I think. Also by Peachy. We've got Honest Blue by It's Pretty Personal. Don't get thrown by this. This is mostly going to be like a pink peach mauve with some black and some gold, but I also want to throw some surprises in there. So this is a lineup for the surprises. We'll see how this goes. St. Lucia, also by Peachy. When I told you before that I have absolutely no shame to my game when it comes to using not crazy expensive glitters, I was honest with that. Does this even have a color? Muse. Recollections from Michaels. I love these, by the way. We have the Carousel by Down Glitter Holler. Also love them as a vendor. We also have, what is this? Dark Crystal by Glitter. Oh, crap. My thing's swirled off. I'll get the name. Magdalene. By Peachy. We got Royal Throne XL, also by It's Pretty Personal. I'm getting rained on, so I'm going to hurry up here. Lost for Words, also through Peachy. Diamond. PDB Studio. Love PDB. By the way, I'm having a affiliate link. So when it comes to this, I've got a discount code for you. And also Candy Raspberry XL, also through It's Pretty Personal. So that's the lineup that we're working with tentatively. You know, this is going to be somewhat of a swirl, but not a swirl tumbler. So we're just going to kind of start layering, see what we use, and then the actual list for everything will be down in the description box when we get there. All right, see ya, bye. Okay, so we're going to start this cup with a white spray paint base. Go ahead and add a very thin layer of epoxy, and using your torch, blow out any bubbles. Next, you're going to go ahead and start layering in your glitter. There is no rhyme or reason as to what color needs to come first or anything like that. You just want to sprinkle on your glitter, but not very heavy. So start with very tiny bursts of colors. You're not trying to go for full coverage. You literally just want to lay that color down in a very light way and then move on to your next one and move on to your next one. I wanted a lot of movement on this cup, so I didn't do just a, you know, straight swirl. Like I tried to kind of swerve it a little bit. This is your cup. Make it your own. If you want to do just an everyday, you know, normal swirl, go for it. If you want to zigzag those colors a bit, go for that too. But like I said, the number one rule is you don't want to full coverage this glitter. And just take your time and just, you know, all of the colors that you choose, just add thin little, you know, lines and swatches and, you know, just get really creative with it. A little bit here, a little bit there until, you know, you're happy. Keep in mind, this layer is not going to look good. It's not supposed to, because the next layer that we're going to put on top is going to complete this layer. So you're going very light. We don't care if the base is still showing. We don't care if, you know, a spot got missed. You are just literally trying to lay down all of these different colors so that you can build on them in the next layer. Okay, so I know it looks like trash right now. Don't think I don't. It does. It looks like trash right now, but I promise we're going to come back. We're going to let this cure. We're going to do another little small micro coat of epoxy on here, and then we're going to go ahead and layer some glitters on top. Yes, it looks like garbage right now. That's okay. That was absolutely the look we were going for. Like I said, we're going to come and we're going to layer glitters on top. This is just the base. We all know whenever we glitter something, that first layer never looks the way we want it to more times than not. So, like I said, I know it doesn't look good right now, but I promise we're going to come back. We're going to layer glitters on top of that. It's all going to kind of start looking. This is one of those cups that it's not going to look good until the very end. So stay with me. But like I said, this is exactly what we were looking for. This is exactly what we wanted, contrary to what you might think. And then, like I said, we're going to let this run. We'll do another coat of epoxy on there, and then I'll be back with you in just a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and start adding some real pretty things to this. Okay, so this looks like trash. We know it looks like trash. We're okay with it looking like trash. We're going to go ahead and put a thin run of epoxy on there. You don't have to be gentle. We're just you know, all you're doing is moving the trash around from one spot to another. But we're going to start layering, and that's going to make it look less like trash and more like awesomeness. Happy that we actually have light today. That's exciting. Welcome to Florida. Yesterday it was 60 degrees. Today it's like 78. So, again, welcome to Florida. Alright, so we've got just a real thin layer on there. We just want somewhere for the glitter to stick to. So, alright, good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically come in and do another layer of glitters. Not necessarily the same glitters, not necessarily not the same glitters. We're just going to sit there. You can see where it's all kind of sketchy and crap's everywhere. We're going to add that second layer, and it's going to kind of be cohesive and bring everything together. So I'm going to start with Princess Pink and just kind of, you know, you're just doing like a real thin little sprinkling. It's just kind of to fill in the blanks and make everything look a little softer, if that makes sense. There's no right or wrong answer to any of this as far as where it goes. Just kind of put it where you think it wants to be. That was kind of like my little Bob Ross nod, wasn't it? Let's just make a little friend over here and sprinkle a little over there. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, then you're making me feel old and we won't talk about it anymore. Alright, let's go ahead and just do a little bit of this. And like I said, you're just trying to... You want all the colors. You just don't want it necessarily to look as ratchet as it was on that first layer. So just go slow. Add little bit, little bit. It's kind of like, you know, when you're adding garlic to a recipe, you're just going to kind of know when it's where you want it to be. So, and like I said, you want real light. You're not trying to like powerhouse through. You know, here's a big old swatch of this. No, you really want very light, and you're just going to kind of play with it and see what you like. If you have certain sections that you totally like and you don't want to mess with, don't. And, you know, that's pretty much what we're going to keep doing. All right, now this one, the big chunky, this one I'm just like shotgunning. I want just a little bit of this everywhere. And that's gonna, it'll stick some places, won't stick others, and that's okay. And this. All right. What am I missing? White. All right, white. And what do you know? A little less like trash. Now, you'll notice, or you didn't notice, we didn't add any of my little surprise colors in there. The teal, the blue, the crazy chunky gold. I didn't add any of those in there for a reason. Those I'm going to add as little accent pops after we go ahead and add ink to it and swirls. And actually, the big raspberry and the purple, I'm used to my camera lens being at this end, so my bad. I think I'm probably going to also at some point like mix a little bit of that in with epoxy and do little drizzles because those colors are banging, kind of like this one is too. So like I said, a lot less like trash now, and this is going to be really pretty. I wanted a lot of different colors. I wanted a lot of movement, so it's not just like swirl, like it is kind of, but you have a lot of a lot of breaks, a lot of this, a lot of that. So that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted a little up, a little down, a little swiggle. And we're going to get more of that once that ink gets laid down. So we're going to go ahead and let this run. And then when this is done, we're going to go ahead and throw another coat of epoxy on it, possibly two. We'll kind of play that one by ear. And then we're going to go ahead and start adding in some of the inks. So that's where we're at. Okay, so here's our cup. Looking quite smashing. Is anybody else like me and find yourself with, like, maybe at some point an extra $100 in the bank, and instead of saving it, you decide you're going to go buy, you know, 26 pots of mica powders, even though you don't work with mica powders, and then let them sit in a box for 2 years? Just me? Okay. Well, that's basically where we're at with things. My first initial thought was I wanted to add the swirls in like a black pigment. I love black pigment. It's gorgeous. It's like, you know, the blackest of blacks. But then I started going through my mica box, and I knew I wanted the gold. The gold I use all the time. I found that I have black. Imagine my surprise. Then I found this purpley black. That is freaking beautiful. What is that? Dark ube. That's gorgeous. And the lighting is kind of jacked in my garage because I have a light right over it. But please believe me when I tell you that this is gorgeous. And then I found gray. Yay to me for buying a mixture of colors. Yeah, I bought this stuff like 2 years ago, and I don't think I've ever used it. I just opened up the tops on a couple of these. So these, I think, are the main colors that we're going to add as for the accents. We're also going to add a little bit of glitter, you know, pops here and there. But yeah, I think these are going to be the colors we're going to run with. So that's going to be the next step. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and add the epoxy. Just a real, not too thin, not too heavy. You want enough epoxy so that when you add your micas that you can move them, but not so much that they're drowning and you're not going to have any control. So we'll just do a real thin layer. And we'll start having some fun. Okay, so we've got a couple colors we're going to work with. The first one we're going to work with is black. I don't want a ton of this, or I should say, you know, it's one of those things you're just going to have to kind of play with it and see where it takes you. I want a lot of movement. I don't know exactly how thick I want this to be, but again, like usual, it's one of those things you're going to know it when you see it. But I want the black to have a pretty strong presence. And my fancy, super uber fancy popsicle stick. You're just kind of swirl it where you want it. You know what I mean? We're going to be putting heat to this, so it's going to be moving. We also want to work fast because, as we know, I use fast set epoxy. So we got to take that into consideration too. We don't have 100 years to kind of dilly-dally. I totally just sounded like my grandmother with that. So again, you're just going to kind of draw it on, for lack of a better word, and mix your colors in. I love this purple. This purple is insanely pretty. I think I would put this purple on everything. Alright, purple. And next. We've got a little bit of gray. Now, I don't want to use a lot of this. I just kind of want it there. But I also know I'm going to add some gold to this. And I want the gold to be more important than the gray, if that makes sense. And right now, I just kind of want to fill in some of those little blanks. Oh, it's pretty already. Let's set that off to the side. Here comes the gold. Now, I don't want to cover up all this glitter, but I also don't want this just to almost be like a single swirl cup, if that makes any kind of sense, which is kind of why we're going kind of wide, but I'm also going to do some stuff over here too. So pretty. And now I'm going to drag some of that up. And like I said, we're going to be moving it. Now, I want to do a little, oops, didn't want to do that, but all right, let's see. I'm going to move this stuff by hand. Where's that purple? I'm just going to add a little bit out here. And a little bit of black. And last but not least, stay. That really pretty Recollections purple Muse, I added that in with some epoxy because I want little pops of that really pretty color in here. It's so hard to know when to stop. Okay, I think we're about there. Okay, now, what we're going to do is this. Hold that thought. Ah, my thing cut out. Sorry about that. So this is where we are at right now. What I want to do is I have some of this really pretty carousel glitter. It's very chunky, and with a little bit of pink. And now I want to add just a couple little spots of that. Nothing too crazy. Literally just a little, tiniest little bit. And when I say tiny, I mean just a little tiny little bit. And then I also have this gold from Tumbler Supply, which is where I get my tumblers. And this is like super pretty. So we are going to add just a little bit of this on there as well. And when I say a little, I do mean just like a little bit. Alright, now we're going to let that roll. We are going to find our torch. Probably should have done this part before we add the glitter, but it's alright. And just kind of give it a quick little zhuzh here. Alright, and now we're going to let that roll. And, oh, I want to use this too, hold on. And some of those spots that have like a little bit of black, I love this glitter. It responds so well to black, better than any other background. Oop. Oops, that went a little crazy. Don't touch raw epoxy with your finger. Okay. So we're gonna let this swirl. I think I love it. I think I'm really happy with it. But let's go ahead and let it swirl out, and we'll see what it looks like when it's all done. Hey guys, what is up? Look at this thing. Look at all that madness. So pretty, so much fun, so freaking easy. Like, I remember once upon a time, I would have seen a cup like this and been like, I could never do something like that. That's just so much. I don't know how. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can totally do this. This is a lot of fun. And the fun thing about these kind of cups, there's no rules. Like, it's just, you know, it's madness. So you can put whatever glitter you want. You can put your color swirls. You can just, you know what I mean? It's very organic. It's very, I feel like I want chunky gold right there. Put chunky gold right there. You know what I mean? Some tumblers that we make are very, you do this and then this step and then this, and you have to do this. And it's very, this, go crazy. So grab your favorite glitter colors, your favorite mica colors, go buck wild. It's a good time. What would I say? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Like, I'm totally being lazy and sluggy today and, like, you know, rocking the Nana sweater. I'm in Florida. It's going to be like 30 degrees tonight. We don't do that down here. So it's cold, but, we've had a really weird winter. So it's cold. So yeah, I'm rocking the sweater because my office is always cold. So anyway, back to this. Okay. So tips and tricks in making this. When I say that it's like completely like, you know, Lollapalooza, it really is. And yes, I said Lollapalooza because my dog's name's Lola and that's what I call her. It's a lot of fun. So you'll see in the video, I grabbed, like I normally do, like 15 glitters. And then I literally just kind of like, as I was making it, I was like, okay, here's all my glitters. I want to use this. I'm going to use this. Maybe not that. Yeah, I'll use this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. So, you know me, I always grab more than what I need. You can make this as easy or as complicated as you want. You can use, you know, 3 glitter colors. You can grab 10. So just have fun with it. This is one of those cups you just have fun with. You'll see in the video where, like, the first layering, let's start at the beginning. The first layering of, what the heck? Oh, thing's sticking to my cup now. Sorry. The first layer of epoxy, and when laying down the glitter, sorry, there's something stick to me. Welcome to my channel. You'll see, like, in the first layering of glitter, and I apologize if sometimes that lighting's a little bit janky. Like I said, we are like having like a really crazy winter right now where it's like one day it's 70, one day it's 50. So on those cold days, I have to like hot box in my garage or else my epoxy won't cure. So some of the lighting might be a little bit off on that. So I hope you can still see everything I'm doing. That first layer of glitter that we did on this cup, the best way I can think of describing this, there's a lot of layers to this, and that's what makes it so beautiful. But you don't want to be like, oh, here I am pouring all this glitter on my cup, and here's another big thing of epoxy, and let's pour more full sheets of glitter on there. That's not what you're doing. On the very first run and the second run, think of it this way. If you're doing one, full layer of glitter, okay, think of that full layer of glitter split into 2 runs. So that first run of epoxy where it looks like, that first run of glitter where it looks like total trash, you're not going for full coverage. You think of it as like you're going for half coverage. So you're sprinkling down your color, but we don't care that you're seeing the base. You know what I mean? Because you're going to come in with that next layer of glitter. You're going to fill in those gaps. So just go light. You want to put your colors down, but you know, like I said in the video, like that first layer looks horrible because you're like, what are you doing? You want to take the first layer of glitter and like the second layer of glitter and just kind of imagine them as little puzzle pieces and bring them in all together for like what would look like one full layer of glitter. So just go real light, and you're kind of, when you start playing with this, you're going to kind of see what I mean, is that you're not trying to drown it in glitter on that first run. As always, go ahead and you're going to be doing micro runs of epoxy between, you know, these layers. This has a ton to it, a ton of different layers on here. So if you are not going very thin on your epoxy, you're going to end up with like a 75-pound cup, and that's really not what we're trying to go for. Micas and glitters. Okay, so I'm going to list everything I used on this cup down below. Do not feel like you've got to go out and spend $9 billion on glitters and micas and this and that. You don't have to do that, okay? I've been in this business for like 4 years. I have more shit than you can imagine. Let's talk about this, okay? I have more crap than you can imagine. So it's easy for me to go in and be like, oh, I'm going to pull 10 glitters and I'm going to pull, you know, 5, 7, you know, 8 different micas. Doesn't need to be all that, okay? So if you are, if you don't have all of that, or if you just don't want to use all of that, then don't. This is your cup. Make it beautiful. Make it how you want. So, you know, if you have, you know, just a couple things of micas and, you know, a handful of glitters, just run with that, okay? That's one thing you will hear me say repeatedly in these videos is that, you know, I have way too much crap. Like, I know that. It's real easy for me to go and pull, like, here's all these ingredients we're going to use on this. That's not what it's about. So, you know, don't feel like you've got to go and, you know, forget you have a mortgage and go spend it all on mica. Not that I've done that at all. So work with what you have. Start with what you have and then just roll with that. Again, this is a lot of fun because you can just sit there and, ooh, the colors. Now, when I was going through, initially in my head, this looked a little bit different. And I think in my head, I had more black on it. But to be honest, I started adding the black and I was like, nah, I don't want that so much because it's covering up the glitter. So, you know, pick colors that you like. And one of my little things that I always love to do once that mica, you know, once we're getting to that point, I always like to throw chunky glitter on top of everything. Just little sprinkles, a little bit. Less is more. When you're going through, like I initially started like adding like a ton of black, a ton of this, a ton of that, and off of this original swirl. Okay, I started with this primary swirl and then I was adding a little bit here and there. I found that with me, my preference, less is more. I don't always remember that. And I start like adding all this stuff to it and then I'm like, I don't need that so much. So then I go back and have to pull it off. If that happens to you, if you start adding stuff and then you're like, oh, that's too much purple, or that's too much black, or I don't know if I want that much mica on there, pull it off. You can do that. You know, you've got your gloves, go on in there, just start pulling it. I can't tell you how many like popsicle sticks I have in this house or out in the garage that are just absolutely been used for a variety of tools, okay? Whenever I order my, my epoxy stirring or my epoxy cups, they always come with like, you know, this huge array of thick popsicle sticks. I use those things for everything. Add mica, grab a popsicle stick, take mica off, grab a popsicle stick, add this, but you know what I mean? You get my drift. You will see also in there that you know that I normally use my torch for everything, other than, you know, blowing out all the bubbles. And I grab my heat gun, which I define and resurrect from the dead. Also, same disclaimer, if you don't have a heat gun and you have a torch, you can do this with a torch. And you know what I mean? Like, don't go out and like buy extra stuff if you don't need to. You can, if you have a torch and not a heat gun, you can still do this. Just go real light. Like, you know, when you got your torch, just go real gentle, but you'll still be able to move your epoxy. I did not put a decal on this. I thought about it. You know, I almost did like a little anti-Valentine Day nod. you know, I saw the cutest thing. It was like, I don't need a Valentine, I need more dogs. And I was like, well, that's appropriate. But I got lazy and didn't. I'll be honest, I ran out of time. So I did not add a decal. Plus, I kind of get sketchy on adding decals to cups like this because they're so pretty just where they are. And I'm like, a lot of times I don't want to add a decal because I feel like it kind of takes away from stuff like this, unless like I was running a name or something. So if you want to add a decal, add a decal. We've got some really great videos coming up in the next couple weeks, so definitely stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think that's pretty much it. Have a great week. See ya.